Unleash your engine's potential with confidence. Introducing the new exclusive line of oil blends from Moose Off-Road. Moose Off-Road, on the gas since 1986.
Hi and welcome to Dirt Bike Magazine. I'm Ron Lawson and today we get to have some fun. We have the 2025 Beta 300RR X Pro 2-stroke. We get to ride all kinds of bikes, but if there's anything we really look forward to, it's a modern 300cc off-road 2-stroke. The reason we've come to love them so much is because of bikes exactly like this. It's a traditional carbureted 2-stroke with a mechanical power valve. It's a bike meant to appeal to off-road purists who don't want to contact a service center if a check engine light comes on. At the same time, it has a long list of upgrades and changes for 2025. No matter how much respect we might have for old-school technology, no one really wants to ride a motorcycle from the last century. The X Pro name is new for 2025 because Beta wanted to be sure everyone knew it wasn't the same old thing. The core elements haven't changed. It's a case-reed engine with a Keihin PWK 36mm carburetor and Moto Tassinari reeds. The suspension is manufactured by Sachs, and the frame is steel with a central backbone. This year, the frame was redesigned with input from Beta's motocross team. It has a larger backbone with less flex. It also has a lower seat height and a new single-spring Sachs ZF SHC fork. That fork is considerably lighter than the old one and contributes to an overall weight loss. On our scale, the bike is 233 pounds without fuel. Beta has made steady progress in the weight department over the past few years, and now the 300RR is essentially the same as a current KTM 300. The other changes for 2025 include revalving of the Sachs shock, a bigger Nissan rear brake caliper, X-Trig elastomer handlebar mounts, a coolant overflow tank, and a rescue strap on the front fender. The bodywork is new this year as well, and a new color scheme gives the bike a very different appearance. The Beta X Pro models take the place of the standard RR line, and therefore they're aimed at trail riders. So the 2-strokes all have electronic oil injection. There's an oil reservoir under the seat which can be removed with the push of a button. There are 2 ignition maps available on the handlebar, which alters spark advance alone. If you want to adjust the power valve, you got to do it the old-fashioned way, by physically turning a preload adjuster down on the power valve governor. love these bikes so much is all about the power delivery. It makes smooth, usable torque from the very, very bottom where most four-strokes won't even run. In the middle, it's smooth and throaty, and on top, it's respectable and clean. There's no detonation, it doesn't load up, and it never misses a beat. If carburetors had always worked this well, no one would have even thought to invent fuel injection. The stock jetting is spot on, at least for our test conditions. We rode it in temperatures from 50 to 80 degrees and at altitudes between sea level and 4,000 feet. It ran perfectly everywhere. In the old days, we never had two-strokes that worked so well in such a wide variety of conditions. What's different? Well, part is probably because of evolutionary advancement in the Beta's ignition system, which is made by Kokusan. The rest is simply good engine design. In outright power, the 300X Pro is decent but not overwhelming. The map switch offers a choice between a sunshine emoji and a rain cloud, but when you switch back and forth, you only notice a change in peak revs. The power characteristic down low isn't that different. If you absolutely feel the need for fiddling, you can focus on the power valve adjuster. Ours came from a half-turn clockwise from flush with the case. You start noticing something when you change the adjuster a full turn in either direction. Either way, it seems the motor only develops a harder hit. You just move that hit around. We eventually return to the original setting. So Benny Bloss is in his second year on Beta's factory supercross team. He's 6'6" and has no trouble touching the ground on any motorcycle made. Someone at Beta realized that most trail riders are not Benny Bloss. Between the new frame and the new suspension components, the seat height has come down. Beta says it's 20 millimeters lower than last year's model, and while that number might be a little overstated, there's no question that the new bike is a touch lower than the average dirt bike. That helps boost anyone's confidence in tight, slow trails. If Benny was a trail rider, we would bet that even he would appreciate it. Some of that height difference came out of the suspension travel, but for trail riding, no one will notice and no one will care. This is a bike with deliberately soft, cushy suspension. It's at its best in slow, technical terrain where rocks, roots, and holes are the main issue. It's well balanced and the action is good, but it's not made for jumps, big whoops, or high speeds. It will bottom and dive when you venture out of its designated comfort zone. For racing, Beta has a completely different line called the Race Editions. Those bikes have KYB suspension, a little more travel, and a little more seat height. The two-stroke Race Editions also ask you to mix your own oil and gas, and they sell for more. So there's a very real pushback against bikes that are too sophisticated and complicated. The 300X Pro is none of those things, but to call it a trail bike sounds dismissive, as if it's made for kids who can't handle a real man's bike. That's the wrong picture. In truth, it's a very high-performance off-road motorcycle, and isn't that far removed from the bike that Max Gersten rode in the 2024 Endurocross Pro class. Accordingly, it's no budget bike. The MSRP is $9,899. But by having a separate line for racers, Beta had the freedom to make the 300X Pro more comfortable, more convenient, and more friendly. In truth, it's the kind of bike that almost all racers would prefer to ride, whether they're racing or not. So thanks for tuning in. For more on motocross bikes, off-road bikes, dual sport bikes, and adventure bikes, tune in to dirtbikemagazine.com or just pick us up off the newsstand. You can also check us out on Instagram, and please click on that little bell to be notified when we have something else cool to see. Thanks for watching.